And I've got to admit, before I get into that it isn't just the goals of the mayor or of the city council that make the city of Eugene work. It's the people who aren't elected officials that make the city of Eugene work. Last year, Councilor Bettman and I had an opportunity to participate in a program put on by Food for Lane County. And Councilor Bettman brought the person that she worked with to a city council meeting and talked about what that young woman did. And both of us were struck by the amount of commitment that she had. And I had the privilege of working with a young man who, as soon as I started spending time with him, I got to recognizing that the citizens of Eugene had a person who cared about children and cared about them in a way that none of us knew about. At this time, I'd like to have Greg Ewert come up. And he's one of the 2 local community service award winners for the city. Greg is the founder and director of Kids Club at the 14 Pines Neighborhood Network Computer Lab. That sounds like a big, big program, doesn't it? You know what it is? It's a place where people live. It's an apartment complex. It's an affordable apartment complex where men and women have an opportunity to live at a relatively low cost, but are making do with limited resources. And they don't have the ability to provide every opportunity for their children. So here's a young man that goes out of his way to find a way after school to provide them with some opportunities that we as a city are no longer able to provide as many of as we would like to provide. They started this process in 2000. It was a computer lab, 14 Pines. It's right behind Papa's Pizza off of Coburg Road. And the first time I went there were all of these little kids and some parents working with these kids after school. And I don't know where these kids would have been if it hadn't been for that. They started out with a community outreach partnership grant from the University of Oregon and $40. 3 boxes of crayons, 3 game tables, and the club was started. In April of 2002, Food for Lane County helped start by providing extra food for this group so that these kids have a little more than they normally would have had. Attendance has grown, and I will tell you why I decided to recognize Greg and the other people who work with him is that the public doesn't even know this is going on, but the kids at 14 Pines and their parents know that. And I thought it was important that you all know that. So I want to recognize Greg and all of you at 14 Pines for what you do for our kids. Thank you, Greg.